Carrie Lam there appearing to offer protesters an olive branch, but she still has some way to go before meeting their demands.
Absolutely. Well, those were words of sincerity from Chief Executive Carrie Lam with this offer of a platform for dialogue, and also basically saying that she sincerely hopes that this is a sign that we're moving away from violence and towards a peaceful resolution of this issue, especially after a weekend without any violence during the protests. But if you actually look at the 5 demands that the protesters have made, not many of them are met. First off, there's not many details about this platform for dialogue. There's no details about who would be on that platform, who would be leading the negotiation. And then she still didn't cave into the demand of having an independent commission of inquiry into police brutality. She just wants to reinforce the existing mechanism, which protesters believe is still not independent. Other demands mean she also refused to completely withdraw the extradition bill, which started this whole movement, saying that the suspension is enough. And if you look at the other 3 demands that protesters have made, she hasn't talked about them at all, whether it's the riot characterization of the previous protests, the freeing of all the people who've been arrested in the past few months, or the demand for a real universal suffrage in Hong Kong. So quite far from the demands made by protesters.
Charles, meanwhile, Chinese state-sponsored media is using, it seems, social media to spread misinformation and false news about the protesters. Tell us more.
Well, both Twitter and Facebook have announced that they've suspended quite a few accounts that spread disinformation about the situation here in Hong Kong. Twitter saying that they closed close to 1,000 accounts, all traced back to mainland China. And Facebook saying that they closed down 5 accounts, 7 pages, and 3 groups, all with quite a wide reach. And again, all traced back to mainland Chinese IP addresses. They're accused of spreading misinformation about the Hong Kong movement, especially theories like the fact that the protesters are paid for by the CIA, or basically saying things that equate the anti-extradition movement here with ISIS terrorists in Syria and Iraq, for example. Also, another thing that Twitter said, they will stop basically providing sponsored content to state news outlets like Chinese news agency Xinhua or the newspaper China Daily, which have been basically always at the top of people's news feeds here in Hong Kong, and basically show that mainland China is trying to shape the narrative not just at home but also abroad on social media outlets that are not available in mainland China.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Charles, for that update from Hong Kong. Charles Pellegrin.